we can turn this into something positive and maybe it'll spread.
He's the most positive person on his job. Now you're cured.
I feel good.
Good morning and welcome to Positively Milwaukee. The bond between dad and daughter can be incredibly strong, but not easy if dad has to fix their daughter's hair. But a salon in Milwaukee is giving dads help. Lance Allen tells us what the owner of a local salon is doing.
When it comes to learning how to do his daughter's hair, Dave Nelson is starting with the basics.
I'm brushing my ear.
Sorry. His daughter Maina is not afraid to give feedback or tell her dad what she wants.
Ow.
Maina came home and told me about it and told me that we will be taking this class together.
The class is at Taylor and Burton Salon. Al Oldham says a client actually asked him for advice for his own daughter's hair.
And then I thought, there's got to be other dads out there who need something like this. So I just made up a quick flyer and put the word out, and the class filled up.
Al says for most dads, ponytails, braids, and bows are completely new skills. Dave admits he hadn't really brushed Maina's hair since she was a baby.
Once it got longer and she became aware of styles and things like that, that's kind of when I backed off, because I don't have any experience in the last 20 years with hair.
I'm not expecting them to leave here as hairstylists. I just want them to leave with a comfort level that allows them to do something maybe they're not used to.
Dave is starting to figure things out.
We learned how to do a 3-strand braid. If I had 3 hands, this would be so much easier.
But he says these new tricks aren't the best thing to come out of the class.
For 2 hours, she sat in the chair and I practiced on her hair. And for 2 hours, I paid attention to just her. No phone, no work, no siblings, no other family members. 2 hours of daddy-daughter time.
Wasn't my great-grandpa in World War I?
Your great-grandpa was in World War I. Where'd that come from?
Really fun, and that never happened in a long time.
Since the class ended, there's still plenty of opportunity for daddy-daughter time as Dave and Maina practice their new skills.
All right, Maina, I'm going to try to do a bow.
Okay.
A little bit of practice that was totally worth it for this reaction.
Woo, pretty.
How adorable. Now, Al says the class didn't just help dads and daughters get closer. He says they actually went home right after to show off their skills to their moms at home. And Al says his intent for his class was not necessarily to create more conversation in families, but he is very glad it turned out that way. And we are as well. A new way of learning for kids means lessons outside the classroom. We stopped by one place in Milwaukee that is truly a joint effort to enrich our kids, and it's all made possible by Sharp Literacy.
This one's already starting to write.
How fun going to school to commune with nature. That's the treat some MPS students are getting this year, all thanks to the Urban Greenhouse Revitalization Project, sponsored by Sharp Literacy.
To come in here and see the fish, it's just calming. It's like, wow.
Linda Kohler helped come up with this idea. The greenhouse is located at the Silver Spring Neighborhood Center at Browning Elementary School.
We're all about learning tools. We provide our students with learning tools, and I look at this as one big learning tool.
Students learn words like solar dehydrator, aquaponics, and hydroponics. It's a classroom experience like none other.
Being able to take ownership, with their 3 raised garden beds this year. They pulled weeds, they planted, they harvested, they, brought vegetables home.
The renovated greenhouse would not be possible without a lot of collaboration.
A couple years ago when, we decided to make the investment, thanks to partners like Johnson Controls, and it was a collaboration between Milwaukee Public Schools, Keep Greater Milwaukee Beautiful, MSOE, Port Fish, Silver Spring Neighborhood Center. I mean, it wasn't just Sharp doing this or Johnson Controls. It was a collaboration.
And Sharp Literacy has built up some impressive partnerships.
We have a program with Marquette University men's basketball team, reading with the Golden Eagles. So they read to the kids, or they mentor them, ask questions. 4th, 5th graders, they don't want to be read to, but they want to talk to these basketball players. For them, these players, these student athletes, to take the time to be with these students. It makes them feel special.
And that's what this greenhouse is doing as kids discover more about plants, gardening, and healthy eating.
And then for them to eat it and to taste that, they learn about healthy eating. And healthy eating, foods can taste good. They can, like a dried papaya, awesome, a dried apple. Many of these kids have never had, tasted anything like this. Silver Spring Neighborhood Center, it's a food desert here.
Cultivating this type of project needs strong financial support.
We couldn't do it without the funders that we have, Johnson Control. We also had financial literacy that was part of the curriculum in the summer. So we have Waterstone Bank and BMO Harris. Again, these are donors that believe in what we're doing, believe in the experiences that we're giving them, and they want to be a part of it.
But the reward is great. NPS students get a science lesson they can use outside the school for the rest of their lives. Just one project that has kept Sharp Literacy staff focused even during the pandemic.
I think this last year really made us all realize, how important we are. We could have said, right when the schools closed last year, or a year ago, March, we could have said, what, we don't, that's not what we do. We're an in-school program. But no, we didn't. We said, what, we need to deliver our program to these kids because they need us now more than ever. And that's what we did.
Very impressive. Sharp Literacy provides programs to 46 schools in Milwaukee, Racine, and Waukesha. For more information, we have a link to the organization. Just go to our website, tmj4.com/links. Students at Marquette University are showing you a side of Milwaukee history you might not know about. Stephanie Haynes tells us how they're honoring Milwaukee's Indigenous peoples.
Marquette University student Claire Camblin is proud of her Indigenous heritage.
I'm part of the Osage Nation Eagle Clan. Everything I know about the Indigenous history is just through my family and through my grandparents.
She joined the team working on a map of Milwaukee's Indigenous heritage, past, present, and future. Associate Professor Brian Rindfleisch started the project.
What we do is we're taking all these various like Milwaukee landmarks like the Art Museum, Juneau Park, the Solomon Juneau statue, the Fest Grounds, the Milwaukee Ballpark, and basically reveal the indigenous roots of these places.
Some of the sites you may already be familiar with, like the river, and other sites you may not even know existed, like the Lake Park Indian Mounds. The map will soon be a website, and you'll be able to find pictures, interviews, and some notes about each place. The goal is to have more than 100 sites.
I want you to see everywhere that you either live or where you walk, or especially on this campus, our students can see all the ways in which indigenous communities are plugged into this place.
According to the 2020 census, more than 7,500 American Indian people live in Milwaukee County.
But not just Menominee, Ho-Chunk, and Potawatomi peoples, we're talking about Lakota and Dakota peoples from the Dakotas. We're talking about Shawnee peoples from Oklahoma. We're talking about Navajo peoples. The bones of their ancestors are here in this land that you're walking.
Just kind of blows my mind that so many things can be built over native grounds and nobody knows about it.
Cameron Franzak is a student from California. He says learning about Indigenous history gave him a better understanding of where he lives.
It made me feel more connected to my town, made me feel more connected to my area, my state.
He hopes more people can experience the same.
And what a fascinating map that will be when it's ready. And by the way, November is Native American Heritage Month, so maybe we'll get a sneak peek by then. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and coming up after the break, we're going to hear from some women who are working hard to support those affected by the disease. Plus, later in the show, we're going to give you an inside look at a historic home that could be yours. But before we go, don't forget lunch with me every Wednesday at 12:30. I chat with someone who is doing good in the community. And recently I sat down with Jean Cantor, a woman who inspires and is truly positively Milwaukee. Welcome back. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I talked to two ladies with the Wisconsin Breast Cancer Coalition who work to save lives. Kathleen Harris and Dana Johnson recently went to Washington to lobby on behalf of breast cancer legislation. We have two ladies with very personal stories, but who are working with the Wisconsin Breast Cancer Coalition. Dana Johnson and Kathleen Harris, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You both are advocates. And I think when I think of advocate, I think of a person who's really got a lot of passion, a lot of fire, and is really excited about making changes in a particular area. I'd like for both of you to tell me, and we'll start with you, Kathleen, just to make it easier. What fuels your passion in joining the Wisconsin Breast Cancer Coalition? And it's an organization that you founded, helped to found.
I came to it quite by accident. I hadn't planned on it. I did learn about advocacy on the national level. And then we tried to form an organization in Wisconsin shortly after that. So when I learned about that I had breast cancer and that breast cancer was common, it was chronically underfunded. Little was known about the disease at that time. So that was around 1993. So that really lit the fire within me. And I just felt, how could a disease that was so common be chronically underfunded? That just didn't seem right to me. And I felt that I needed to be on the national level as well as on the local level here, Wisconsin Breast Cancer Coalition. And I became very involved. And as you know, I still am 29 years, later. So it's that passion that keeps me going and doing this work.
And it's on behalf of women and 29 years cancer-free. You're a testament to why we need people like you and programs like you, as well as people like you, Dana Johnson, who, your mother, I know you have a passion because you lost your mother to the disease. Can you tell me what is continuing to drive you after all these years? Because it has been a while since your mother passed.
Yes. So my mom passed away in 2003, and I, like Kathleen, did not know of all of the sources that were available and really what was behind the curtain, if you will, about breast cancer until she went through her battle. Since then, I have put in a lot of work in just educating myself and making certain that I'm having a seat at the table to understand what I can do as an advocate, whether it be from the walk side of things or participating in organizations such as the Wisconsin Breast Cancer Coalition and, as Kathleen mentioned, nationally on the national coalition as well. And just there's a myriad of various opportunities that can allow you to become more educated, and you bring those back to the community. And that's what's key, to just make certain that people know the resources that are available.
I have to say, Kathleen, 29 years survivor, you are a testament to what can happen when you get treated.
Yes, my diagnosis or my breast cancer was caught early. And so I'm sure that is why I have survived so long. And I feel very, very fortunate. I really do, because I have made friends throughout the years with women from all over the country. We meet in Washington, as Dana said. And so many of those fellow advocates that go back to 1994 when I first started going and are no longer with us. Mm-hmm. So I feel so very fortunate to have lived this long, to have survived and actually thrived, especially through my advocacy work. So again, I feel very, very fortunate. And thankful.
Well, we are blessed to have both of you. Thank you for your mission. Thank you for your hard work. And thank you, Kathleen, for surviving and thriving. And Dana, we know that your mother lives on through you. So that is, it's a beautiful thing, and it's a tribute to her legacy. And what we need, both of you, to continue the good work. And thank you for helping us spread the good word on Positively Milwaukee. And again, that was Dana Johnson and Kathleen Harris. I talked to them earlier this week, both from the Wisconsin Breast Cancer Coalition, working on behalf of laws for funding of breast cancer detection, treatment, as well as education. Well, fall is in full swing, and coming up after the break, we're going to hear from Milwaukeeans about their favorite traditions. But first, this is always a pleasure. We're going to meet our Positively Milwaukee Pet of the Week.
Good morning. My name is Johanna Szymanski, and I'm with HAWS, the Humane Animal Welfare Society. Today, I'm joined by my friend, our trainer, Madison, and Easton, one of our adoptable dogs. He is a 6-month-old mixed breed. He is good with kids. We recommend older kids because he's still working on learning about his jumping and how not to do that to people. He's good with other dogs. And we would recommend no cats because he gets a little excited and tries to chase them. So, as you see, Madison is here and she's working with Easton on some of his behavior cues. We here at HAWS offer several different options for behavior. We offer consults for the lifetime of any dog or cat that you adopt from us. We also have basic manners classes all the way up to higher level training classes like agility and scent work. We have a program called day training. So day training I like to compare to preschool. It's 2 days a week for 6 weeks, and you drop your dog off in the morning and our trainers work with them throughout the day on skills that you'd like them to perfect. Once they are done, there is a transfer lesson. So you meet with the trainer, you go over what your dog has learned and how you can continue that in the home. To find out more, please check out our website, hawspets.org, and you can look under our training section. Those are some of the offerings we have here at HAWS to make sure that you can keep your dogs positively Milwaukee.
Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Milwaukee is a city full of history, and you can own a slice of it. The price tag for this home by the lake, though, is pretty steep. James Groh shows us it may be worth it.
This home in Milwaukee was built in 1887. That's 134 years old for the non-math geniuses out there. It's on the market. I'm going to give you a tour. Trust me, you'll want to see what's inside. The house is located right above the Milwaukee Marina at 2105 East Lafayette Place. At first glance, it's hard to believe a house in this condition is so old. It has modern upgrades like this kitchen and bathroom, but still features a lot of original design from 1887.
Fireplaces, moldings, the beautiful floors, the ironwork of the staircase, plaster work on the walls that you've noticed, and a lot of the original light fixtures are here as well.
The listing price for this 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, and 5,211 square foot home is $1.395 million. What's really unique is that there's only one other house on the block, so you basically have the whole side of the street to yourself.
So I believe there have been 4 owners.
Which is why so much of the original house has been kept intact. To see more of this house, go to tmj4.com where we have an entire photo gallery on our website. This home is a chance to own Milwaukee history and to have a view of Lake Michigan, albeit when it's actually sunny.
It is beautiful, very well preserved, but imagine cleaning all of that. But if you do own a house that unique, you probably want to keep it in tip-top shape. Apple picking, making chili, carving pumpkins, so much to love about fall. So we wanted to ask you, what's your favorite fall tradition?
The food, to be honest. That's what I look forward to, the pumpkins. Really the sweets and Thanksgiving and all that come together. It's just all the foods.
Of course, the brewers are a tradition, aren't they?
The temperatures are very moderate, so a bike ride is not going to sweat you out to death. It's not going to freeze you to death, and so it's sometimes now is the best time to be bike riding and be outdoors.
I look for Indian summer, that last little bit of warm weather we get right before it starts to get cold. That's my favorite time.
Mine's definitely just like cross-country season. My favorite fall tradition is going to the pumpkin patch and picking up pumpkins, We always used to do that when I was a kid.
Mine would be going to the parks and looking at all the trees changing colors.
Halloween, I don't know, the pumpkins, and fall's great.
The leaves, the color of the leaves and the changing of the season.
Ah, yes, and let's face it, the color of the trees really is so magical. And you don't really have to go that far away to see them change, because Milwaukee has so many wonderful parks where you can actually watch the colors as they change. Now, if you want to share a fall tradition or you want to suggest a question, check out our Positively Milwaukee Facebook group. Babies are so cute and cuddly. They are a good reason to smile all by themselves. And when you see these babies, your smile probably will get even bigger. Aurora Healthcare welcomes some tiny Brewers fans into the world. There they are. They have special onesies on. They all say new to the crew. The fancy fits were given to new parents right before the Brewers headed into their first postseason game. Okay, we all know the Brewers aren't going to the World Series, and our little tykes will have to learn there is no crying in baseball. Oh, how peaceful. Milwaukee kids will get a chance to explore something they really don't get to see often, the ocean. The Milwaukee Public Museum welcomed an international traveling exhibition called Voyage to the Deep. Kids can explore underwater adventure based on Jules Verne's classic book, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Now, this is a wonderful combination of fantasy and whimsy and real-life knowledge about the ocean. The exhibit will be in place through the new year. I'm going to be back with my quote of the week. Don't go away. The preservation of one's own culture does not require contempt or disrespect for other cultures. This week's quote of the week comes from Cesar Chavez. Chavez was a Mexican civil rights leader who advocated for the safety and well-being of farm workers. Chavez knew that preserving one's own culture made it easier to appreciate and respect others. There's no need to tear anyone down. I hope you can remember that lesson as you try to learn about yourself and the world. And as always, stay positively Milwaukee.